Okay, so for me, this comes up a lot. Those little, I don't know if you have this, but I have this little voices that come up, and they're, kind of like a little kid, and they're like, I don't want to, I don't want to. And it can come up for a variety of reasons. If I'm, have on my to-do list, oh, I want to learn this new thing, or do this particular movement exercise or something. I don't know, for some people maybe it's like a chore, like a house chore or something. Anyway, there's, always something, or oftentimes for people, something that they're like, I don't want to. Maybe it's having like a difficult emotional conversation or something like that. Whatever it is for you, taking a moment and thinking about one thing or maybe a topic that you have these voices come up that they're like, kind of voices inside of you. Think of your thing that brings up that sort of response. Okay, so for me, I just pulled one particular thing to mind. Kind of like, yeah. So now I'm going to keep refreshing that particular task that brings up this response throughout the exercise. So modify this exercise as much as you want, or refresh as I do, however it works for you. So again, bringing up this task as though somebody's like about to, walks up to me and it's like, you need to go do this thing right now. So what I'm doing is starting to do a body scan, and the way that you kind of can look on to the horizon and have this kind of soft eye gaze so that you take in a lot of information. I want you to bring that gaze to your own body. Your head, your toes, your skin, the inside layers that you can't see. All of the terrain of your body, bring that sort of noticing. Notice in this terrain of your body, looking at this horizon line. Are there areas that are speaking up? And you can kind of bring this like, hello, I see everybody, kind of, I don't know, words to yourself. And also when you hear things speak up, don't pre-decide if like, oh, that's just speaking up because I'm sitting this way, or that's speaking up because that's related to this deep emotion. Don't decide the meaning so much. Really bring your noticing curiosity to just the sensation itself without having to label it. Just sort of notice it's speaking up. I hear it. You might even offer this area like I hear you, I see you. So again, I'm going to refresh that activity that the sort of resistance response comes up in relation to. And then noticing this horizon line of my body. What sparks up? what moves. And I might ask myself questions like, is it happening more in the front of me, or more in the back of me, or on the side, or in the center? Does the thing that you're noticing seem to stop at your skin, or does it go beyond you? Again, refreshing if you need. And with whatever sensations spark up, is there a direction to them? Like, are they going from your center forward, or pushing you back, or moving upward? Is there any sort of direction related to the sensation you noticed? Is it spread out, or is it just sort of in one area? So again, bringing up this metaphor of looking at a horizon. And when you, for example, look out into a natural landscape, or any landscape, but keeping your eyes real soft, when motion happens, you're able to notice it right away instead of, and so when you notice something spark up, you notice something, then you can kind of zero in and then kind of narrow your eyes and start to focus on that area. And that's when you might sort of notice, oh, the direction goes like left to right, or swirls around. And you might back up again and look at the whole horizon, or you might just stay in that one area. Follow what feels right, what is interesting to you. So again, I'm refreshing this activity that I'm feeling resistance to. And then noticing what sensations spark up. Maybe they're related, maybe not. And then I might bring these sensations a question like, it could be really anything. I often bring my parts of myself, or sort of like a diffuse cloud of sensation. For example, I'm feeling some kind of like skin tingly thing happen in the front of me. So this not quite defined area, but it's not in my feet. I might bring to this area a question of like, what do you need? Or what do you want right now? And then I try to listen. I try to stay with the sensations, to listen to the sensations. Maybe some words pop up, or maybe some direction to move or make sound. So sort of following whatever you hear this area say. Maybe it's clear words, or maybe it's a little weird information you don't quite understand. Do your best to follow it, to try out different things. Maybe you hear nothing, and that's also just fine. The goal of the practice is to explore, not to find anything specific. So this might be a little bit strange or difficult to understand when you ask an area like something like, what do you need or what do you want? If you start getting a lot of, like, words are just fine, but if you notice that you're really like thinking a lot in kind of, normal sort of thinking ways, you can put those thinky thoughts like on a shelf for later, or kind of let them float away, and really return to either direct sensation, like describe the sensation. So like you ask the question, maybe the sensation feels the same, or maybe it feels different. So then again check, like, how do you describe how that sensation feels after you ask the question? And then sometimes you might sort of sense or hear information that is like if you're working with an animal, or you're working without verbal communication, if you're working without words that you understand, sometimes you still get a sense of something, like, oh, this animal, wants to go that direction, or you're not quite 100% sure, but you just sort of like feel into it. And it's that kind of quality of listening that I'm suggesting. Like, you bring this question of like, oh, what do you need right now? What would you like right now? This area that's lit up. And then I hear some kind of response that's not so verbal, but it's in this other realm of sensing. And then I try, like, oh, this finger thing on my chest is nice. Maybe I try it and it doesn't feel right, so I let it go. So, not quite defined answers is sort of the information. It's more of a game. And then it's kind of a way to say goodbye, like all the parts of yourself. You can offer a thank you, or just a, you were here today. I see you.